welcome. My name's Sam and this is the Little Greenhouse Creates. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for joining me on a Funky Fold Friday. And no, I haven't gone slightly doolally. This is a funky fold, it's just not a card. So today's card, or non-card should I say, for those of you that joined me on Wednesday when we did one of the new card kits that Stampin' Up are supplying, all the stuff came in this little cardboard box. So these are the cards we created. We'd made 3 during the video, but I finished off the rest while offline. Okay, and now that I've made them, I figure I would quite like to give them away as gifts. So what I've done is, initially I decided to have a belly band put onto my card box. I created 2 gift tags using the tailor-made tag dies. I used the existing label that came with the kit and 3 of the hearts that came with the kit that were left over that we didn't use. This designer series paper is known as the party paper that comes as a part of a hostess gift. If you spend over £150 with Stampin' Up in one go, you're entitled to a gift that you can choose, and one of the things you can choose is this designer paper, and I will show you a bit more later on. Okay, so if I was to remove this cover belly band off of my box, I'm just going to move it the other way because that's better. Makes my life easier doing it that way. I covered up the label that said Stampin' Up. I put a 6x4 piece of mint macaron card, then layered it with the paper that we used on the original belly band, and then some white paper, and I stamped out the clouds that came with the stamp set. Used again the leftover label that we didn't use, and 3 of the hearts and 5 of the raindrops. However, I figured that not everybody would want to use the box, so that was quite self-explanatory. So I decided I would make a gift bag to go with it instead. So using the same kind of paper, I have got 12x12 designer series paper here. This again is the party designer paper. I will double check on the name of that one. And then I have 2 pieces. They're identical and they are double-sided. Okay, so use that. I've got the remaining twine from the stamp set or the card kit that came through. I shall be using that for my gift tag. I've got myself some Stampin' Seal. I have a piece of cardstock that measures 3/4 of an inch by 3 1/4. I have a piece of Petal Pink cardstock which measures 5 3/4 by 2 3/4. I have 2 pieces of 1-inch strips by 8 1/4 inch strips of, again, Petal Pink, which I will create a belly band that's very similar to the one that we had around the box just a moment ago. And I also have 2 pieces of the what's it called, organdy striped ribbon in the Petal Pink for the handles. Okay, so, and I've also got 2 pieces of scrap card to make out my tags. Okay, and I've used the larger of the 2 largest of this particular shape from the tailor-made tags again. Right, okay, so let's pop that little lot aside and we can start. So the first thing we're going to start with are these 2 pieces of designer series paper, and as I say, they are both 12x12. So this is going to be the main body of my paper, and I'm going to have this as the pattern that comes over and gives me the lip. So I'm going to bring in my scoreboard. Now, if you don't have a scoreboard, you can use your trimmer as well, because that has a scoring blade. Okay, so let's just move that along. There we go. Now, I need to make sure that this runs in the right direction. So I'm okay with this piece because it doesn't seem to have a directional, But if you're somebody that needs a direction, or have a piece of paper that needs a directional, what you need to do is you're going to work on the side that you want facing out. But you need to make sure that this side of the paper has the correct orientation. Okay, stripes go that way, and you want them to go that way on the bag, straight down, then the first piece of paper score line needs to be here, so the stripes would go this way rather than this way. Okay, let me explain, make that a little bit clearer. Okay, so this is my DSP. I've got my scorer, and I'm going to score that at 2 inches. So I'm going to go all the way down and score at 2 inches. Then I'm going to turn the paper round, and I'm going to score it at 3 inches. So I'm going to go 1 on the remaining 3 sides. So 3 inches, and then 3 inches. Okay, so that's that piece. I'm going to do exactly the same again with the next piece. So making sure my stripes, or whatever it is I'm using, is running in the correct direction, is the first score I make on the left hand side, so that's 2 inches. So there's the 2 inch score mark that comes down here, and then I'm going to make the other 3 a 3 inch mark score. 1, 2, and 1 makes 3. Okay, so we can put the scoreboard aside. Let's go. And then we can bring our papers in. So when you look at your papers, you have got the thin edge here. So of course, now if your stripes were, if this was stripes, then your stripes would be running the right direction now. Hopefully you'll understand what I was trying to explain to you. Okay, so we have the 2 inch score mark here, and then we have the rest score marks, which are 3 inches. So I'm going to bring this one over, like so, and I'm going to burnish it with my bone folder. That's 1. 2, and then I'm going to make that one 3. Okay. And then this one, which is the 2 inch, I'm going to bring it back on itself, and I'm going to score that like so. Okay, so there you have your bag, and it will fold round like that. Okay, so this is the main body of the bag, and then this is just the lip. Okay, we're going to do exactly the same with the next piece. So where is our, there's our 2 inch. So let's bring that over like so. We're then going to bend that one over that way. So again, this is the 3 inch, and again this is the 3 inch line, burnishing with our bone folder, and then last but by no means least, the base. Okay, there we go. So there is our 2 sides of our bag, gift bag. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to glue this 2 inch down, okay, and that's where the Stamp and Seal comes into play. I'm going to run it along the top section. Let's just move that along so I don't make, here we go, there we go, and then where it folds I'm going to put another strip of the Stamp and Seal, okay, all the way down. Then I'm going to bring the 2 inch over, and I'm going to make sure it's nice and flat, okay, on that one, and then I'm going to do exactly the same with this piece here. So Stamp and Seal down by the score line, the 2 inch score line, all the way across. There we go, all the way across, and then at the very top as well. Okay, and then I'm going to fold it over and push it down, and then just run the bone folder across so that I know it's in place. Okay, now if you want to, you can then fold this back so that this piece here, because it's now double thickness, has got a burnished score line on that one, and then do the same on this one. There we go, that's that one, and then obviously exactly the same on the other side. Now obviously this will become slightly more manageable with a camera in view once the bag gets slightly smaller. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out these two corners. So there's a corner here. I'll show you with a pen. So there's a corner here, which is folds there and there. And we're going to cut this piece out, and then we're going to do exactly the same with this piece here, which is this piece here. So taking some sharp scissors, I'm going to cut right down the line. There we go. And then straight across. There we go. So we've got one corner out. And then we're going to do exactly the same with this corner. Okay. So now we have the card that folds over and this base bit here. Now, on this side, we've got our lip at the top. We're actually only going to cut up here and here. So that's this line here, which takes you up to the bottom, and then it takes you up to the 3-inch score line. So that's one. So that now becomes a flap. Okay, and exactly the same here. All the way up to the top, like so. Okay, wonderful. So this now needs to be bent over, and what we're going to do is that piece of cardstock I was telling you about earlier on that measures 5 3/4 by 2 3/4 is now going to be stuck to the base of I'm just going to work it out, making sure I'm not doing this wrong, to this piece. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, I had to think then, I just didn't want to make sure I'd done it wrong. So fold this piece over. I'm going to put some glue onto here. There we go, like so. And then we're going to add this cardstock here. Thank you, Alexa. Basically what I'm going to do is I am going to just paste this down like so, and this will then give your bag extra weight for whatever you're going to put inside it. So you're going to bring this piece in, and then you're going to run it up, butt it up to the card so it becomes almost as one piece. Okay, so it butts up right up to the edge there, and make sure you've done it right. You can bring your piece up to that way, and know that you can bring that piece up that way. Okay, so what I'm going to do again is I'm going to put the glue on the card base. Yeah, I'm just making sure I'm doing it right. First time I made it, I didn't do it right, and I ended up with a very difficult looking bag, but we seem to have got it this time. So both pieces come up and then wrap round. Okay, so now I'm happy with that. Fold that over, fold that over. Now what we can do is sorry, my brain has gone mushy on me. Okay, so it's going to come up, the two sides are going to come up like that, and then the base will come underneath and close up that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to run, while it's looking like this, we're going to run glue down this section. Okay, so not on the flap, but just this section here. So that's this section here. Okay, we're going to run glue all the way down, like so. I'm going to bring this over so it creates the first side of the box. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the side like so. Make sure it reaches the edges, so you can see it's at the edge. Now if you want to make sure that you have it firmly, what you can do is you can turn it on its edge like so, and then rub your hand in. I can move this back so you can see. Rub your hand in and make sure it's down firmly. Okay, so that is the first side of your box created. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And now I'm going to do exactly the same with this section, like so. So once again, I'm going to put my glue on this section here so that it comes up and matches, not on the flap. So there we go, that comes up. And then what I can do now is bring these two up to meet each other, making sure that the sides, that they meet end to end, and also end to end here for the bag. Okay, I'm just going to pinch those together as best I can, turn it flat, making sure it's all still in, and then I'm going to run my arm down like I did before and make sure it is glued together. There we go. So that's the two sides done. So what we just need to do now is the base. So again, I'm just going to run glue on this section and then on this section. So the glue goes on the flap like so. You bring it up and then meet it up to the edge. And then just push it down, making sure that you're happy that it's square. Okay, so there's that one. Do exactly the same with the other one. So let's turn it around again. I'm going to do that. Sorry, my hand was in the way. I've just glued the base. Just glued the base. I'm going to bring it up and then hold it still, making sure that the edges fit nice and snug. Again, if you're not happy, you can hold your box like so, get something sharp. Now I've got a pair of scissors here, and just run it down like so, so you're happy that it's firm and closed. Okay, so this is the basics of the box. Okay, and what you need to do is you notice that these edges are where the sealed are, so this will be the back of the box down here, and this will be the front of my box. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tweak it in, so I'm going to push it with my fingers in the back like so. Just going to push it in like that so that they two edges come together, and I'm just going to give it a tweak. You don't need to do anything here because this is where your card's going to go. You're just going to tweak it very gently, and then you're going to do exactly the same. Now if you can't work it with your fingers, use your knuckle like so, and then push. Okay, and then that way you've got your almost shutting lid in place. Now the reason I've done this now rather than before the cards are in is I want to create two little holes on either side to make where the handle's going to be. So I have this little gadget which I picked up in a local craft store, and it just makes a hole. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, just trying to see if I can show you. So see this point here, I'm going to run my handle down and parallel to this point. You see? Tip it that way. And then I know it's in the right place and go as far as it'll allow me. Okay, and then I'm going to make a hole. So there's the first hole. And then I'm going to do exactly the same on this side. So find where the bend is, run it down as far as I can, and then punch the hole. The reason doing this is that when I turn it over, I can do exactly the same thing, and hopefully we are almost 95% sure that the holes will be in the correct position. So if you can actually, I don't know if you can see, but you can actually see straight through there. So that's a success. Let's move these holes out of the way, punched holes. So run it down by the side of the bend and then punch. So there we are, we have got our handles, holes for our handles. Okay, so the next thing to do is to take one of our strips of ribbon, sorry, and what we're going to do is I'm going to poke it through the first hole, like so, so it comes through, and I'm going to knot it at this end. I'm going to make sure that the knot is as far to the end as I dare, not so that it comes undone, but so that it doesn't make the handle too short. Okay, we can put that, oh, hello, that wasn't as successful as I'd hoped. Okay, so if that happens, then what you need to do is you just need to make your knot a double knot. Okay. It never occurred to me that it was going to do that, because the second piece I did, the first one I did, but no problems. So there we go, so that's in. Now I'm going to pop this one through this end and through this hole I've created. Come on, there we go. Oh, come on. There we go. Again, I'm going to pull it through and create the hole, the knot. Pull it through as much as you can. I'm just going to give it another go, so that the knot is double. Okay, and there we have 2 knots. Now, this normally does work, but if you find that it doesn't, the easiest thing to do would be to put some sort of stopper on the end of it. So you could put a bead, or you could put a piece of glue that will hold it still. There we go, that's better. So we now have the handle in place. Okay, I'm going to do exactly the same to this side. So bring in my ribbon, poke it through the hole, and make my knot. That's 1, and then that is 2. There we go. So that's a double knot there. It should hopefully stay in place. Now, what you need to do is you need to bring your ribbon over your hand. I'll just show you like so, before you poke it through there, because you want it to be the same handle, the same size. So make sure you're happy with the way the handles are. That's better. So my handles are there. Okay, so then I know that I've got about this much to knot. So I'm going to knot it once and then knot it twice, and it should give me the right length for my handles. There, okay, there, perfect. So the only thing I need to do now is to create, for this bag, is to create the gift tag. So as I said before, I've got these 2 pieces of scrap, Petal Pink and Whisper White, and I've got my 2 tags, and in true Blue Peter fashion I have already cut these out. Okay, so I've got the larger one in the Petal Pink and the soft one, sorry, the Whisper White, in the smaller section. Let's put those aside. Now I have got my block, and I'm going to add my sentiment, which Let Love Grow. I'm going to pop it on there. And then I'm just going to stamp it on there. I'm going to use my little basic grey ink spot that came with the set. Like so. Make that straight as I can. And then I'm just going to let that go down. There. Now I have got these 3 little hearts, and I'm just going to grab my block, because that one's too big. So I've got a smaller block here. So I'm going to take my biggest heart first, put it on my block, and I'm bringing in my Petal Pink ink to tab that and just check it. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to do one there. Okay, I'm going to clean that off. Bring in my next size, and then that one can go there, and bring in my next size. My bag seems to be creating a shadow there, I do apologise. Clean that, and then the last one will go there, and then I'm just going to tap that and it can go down the bottom, just there. Perfect. Now I'm going to put those aside and I'm going to layer those two up. I'm just going to glue them with a bit of the multi-purpose glue. I'm just going to run that down like that. I'm going to layer up the two holes so you can see straight through, because that's where my thread is going to go, making sure that my tag is straight. I'm happy with that. And then I have my tag ribbon, no thread. Cut a bit off, like so, fold it in half, and then poke the folded end through your hole, like so. Pull that through. Okay, so that gives me the tag. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I've got the right side, which is this side, and then I'm going to put my twine around the handle of my bag and create some sort of bow. Okay, so I'm going to knot that. There it is. Good grief. There we go. So bring it down here, like so. Create a bow with this twine. Alright. Then you can make your bow as large or as small as you wish it to be. I'm just going to make that a little bit. There we go. And then I'm just going to cut the end off with my scissors, like that. Okay, so that is the bag created. So the only thing we need to do now is to get these cards to go inside. And very quickly, this is how the belly band on the box was created. I'm going to glue the two of these over each other, just, I suppose, 1/4 inch. Like that. Add the glue, pop it on like so. Hold it in place with that glue so it doesn't stick on my cards. I'll make that glue as well. And what I need to do is to bring that like that, and then you're going to bring over your edge. Okay, so that's one. Put this into camera, you might be able to see what I'm doing, that would always be good. I can cut off the end here. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut an end like that. Okay, and then I'm going to bring this over again and bring it straight across my cards, and it will sit like that. Again, I'm going to cut it off probably to about there, and I will add glue to this section. Very carefully bringing it over. I'm going to hold it into place for a couple of seconds in the hope that it stays. Cards may just cause a little bit of hassle, so just bear with me for a second while I just wriggle this round and make sure it stays in place. There we go. Now obviously this doesn't look very pretty, and that is why we have our 1 inch, which will go across there. And I'm going to have Let Love Grow again on this section, but in the grey. Pop that in the middle. There we go. And then we can then glue that onto there to create the belly band. Just make sure that is okay. Just going to run that down the middle, and then we can put that across like so. Hold it into place. And there is our belly band that will hold our cards into place. Right, like so. Now all we need to do is to add that into our bag. Push it down. And we have our bag already created with our beautiful handles and our wonderful gift tag. So thank you ever so much for joining me today for our funky fold, not card but bag. I hope you like that. Now obviously you can do this with any designer series paper to create any other bag you wish to. It's not just for those gift bags. It could be for a present for a friend that you maybe want to give them as a thank you. So anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me today. Whatever you do for the rest of the day, stay safe, have a lovely time, take care, and I hope to catch up with you next week. Lots of love. Bye.